Hello, everybody. Hello, Kamaida, Apparition, Ruka, and Beatrice. So happy to be back to Ciconia. As usual, on Hello OA. You've been waiting for this. Jeez. Oh, that is so sweet of you, Ruka. I've been waiting for this. You guys, it's like the friggin' deepest voice I can do. Oh my god. Anyway, last time I went totally bonkers trying to figure out Sesshat's allegiance. She is ridiculously strong. She's apparently a Gauntlet Knight of her own, and she can defeat Gauntlet Knights from the most powerful country in the world. Two of them single-handedly, and not only that, but defeat them unharmed and just knock them out. And I just don't even know. I'm trying to figure out where everybody's loyalties lie. Like, there's that big question. Is Fear Dreisig's whole SCP Foundation area, are they part of the Three Kings and they just don't like to be spied on by them? Or are they an enemy organization? That's what I've really been trying to figure out. And I know that Toujirou works for the Three Kings, but he does not seem to be totally happy about that. He works under Sesshat, who is a high-ranking member of the Three Kings organization, and she wants to become one of them. As, we'll learn more about her, so she's, an extremely powerful individual. And, I really just can't wait to see where the story goes. So, before we start, audio between Umineko and Ciconia is rather wonky, so please tell me if I'm too soft or loud, and if the music is too soft or loud. Anyway, let's get back into it. Oh yeah, last time we left off in the middle of something where 3 Yao had taken over into a monologue. I'm gonna call them 3 Yao until we get an actual name for them. Okay, I really, really hope that their name is not another spelling of the word meow. Like, if it's spelled M-I-A-O, I am gonna fucking go bonkers. I fucking swear. Twice was cute, Ryukoshi. 3 times you're just trying to fucking troll us. True, that is true, OA. And it's still continuing in this screen, apparently.
Of course, I realize that fights between Gauntlet Knights will happen sooner or later. But on that day, we swore to each...
Oh, I think this is regular meow talking to 3 Yao here.
Of course, I realize that fights between Gauntlet Knights will happen sooner or later. But on that day, we swore to each other that we're comrades, that we won't kill each other.
Interesting. So now the evil one is using, well, not evil, but, jeez. They're just using meow for the dark one here.
Oh, you mean that rule where you retreat if your shield is broken and you won't chase down the losers? In other words, you plan to fix the match every single time, right? You'll have fight after fight where no one wins and no one loses, buying time over and over.
Hasn't that been the true job of guardians who support the walls of peace?
No. Guardians of Peace do buy time to calm feverish people excited by war, but not like that.
Then let's hear it. How do you think Guardians of Peace should buy time for peace?
With blood! your blood. The only thing that can calm their excitement is the blood shed when you young people hurt each other and kill each other. You know, old people love the young.
I'm gonna reduce the volume of the music just a tiny bit here.
And they're particularly, incredibly, immensely fond of young people who sacrifice their lives. When the internet starts filling up with pictures of young boys and girls wearing gauntlets that got turned into mincemeat corpses, then I'm sure they'll come to their senses. When the old see those young corpses, the terrifying thought that that same thing might have happened to their own children and grandchildren will make them lose their fever for war. Time alone will do nothing to cool the heads of those middle-aged men who want to watch thrilling Gauntlet Knight battles. After all, war weariness never sets in until you're looking at pictures of young corpses. Pictures of the boys and girls celebrating over there, only after they've killed each other. Remember all those legendary news photos in the past that triggered public opposition to wars? Think of just how many young people lay dead in them. Death is the only thing humans fear. So they'll only regain their calm if you make them see death. Guardians of Peace have a job beyond merely supporting the walls. You understand now, don't you?
Like hell I understand.
When the going gets tough, your job is to use your own blood to cool the fevers of people screaming for war from a safe place. Right now, your lives and blood exist for that purpose. And to think you're getting all excited and calling yourselves Guardians of Peace without even realizing that. You people really are just kids. Just idiots. Just ice packs filled with blood and guts for cooling the heads of the common man.
Shut up. Be quiet. We'll still fight for peace despite that. And yes, we may die as a result. We've been prepared for that ever since we chose to become Gauntlet Knights. But even if we do die, as long as our blood serves the cause of peace, like you say, we definitely won't die in vain.
In other words, you're saying that if your blood doesn't serve the cause of peace, then you will be dying in vain, right?
Shut up. Be quiet! What's with you suddenly appearing like this, confusing me with this incomprehensible crap? And you even have my face!
He doesn't even realize that it's another personality inside him. Interesting. I wonder why not.
There's no helping it. I'm you, Mitake Meow.
Interesting. Is he gonna get named? Is 3 gonna get a real name here? That would be interesting. I really hope they do.
It was confusing, so I thought I'd at least change my outfit, mapping to something different from you.
Change your face too. You're pissing me off. Also, stop acting like my name applies to you.
No way! I'll never change it. After all, I am you. a new you inside you.
Well, yeah, but so is Meow with a W, and she has her own name, sort of.
Bullshit! Are you saying you're a new personality of mine? No one like that exists, nor have they ever!
Huh? 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 Wait, what? Meow? Earth to Meow? Huh? Huh? What? Are you sure about that, Meow? I don't think that's true.
I already told you. You aren't a personality. You're a program. So there would be nothing strange if a new personality like me was installed in addition to you.
You're saying crazy stuff again! I'm no program and I'm no robot! How could I believe crap like that? If that's true, show me some proof! And anyway, wouldn't that mean you're also a program just like me? In that case, what kind of program are you?
Oh, Jesus Christ, that's a new effect. Oh no! 3 hours trying to replace Meow. Oh God.
I'm a program that exists to kick you out. You and I are programs. We aren't Mitake Meow. To put it in spiritual terms, we aren't Mitake Meow's soul. We're copies of the human soul of Mitake Meow, which used to exist. I'm not lying. Look at this!
In a dark space, the image of me and lying on the ground appeared. My whole body was soaked and slightly dirty. There was a gauntlet on my left arm. Its sooty appearance made it clear that it had been used in quite a fierce battle. As for my right side,
it's what you might call a perfect corpse examination, which even an amateur can perform.
that face clearly belonged to Mitake Meow. But there was only a half of it, just the left half. As for the right half, no, not just the right half of his head, but everything else from the right shoulder downwards.
As you can see, Mitake Meow is quite dead.
Oh my God, was Meow the child that was blown up in the frickin' propaganda video in the very beginning? That's possible. Oh my God.
Half of his head's gone.
It was a gruesome corpse on which only half of his face remained. He accepted that fact instinctively, and it was so grotesque, he started feeling as though he was about to vomit.
As if I just believe you.
Well, I figured you'd say that.
Are you trying to say that Mitake Meow is already dead, and I'm an AI or program that was newly created to be Mitake Meow, or something like that? You're insane! Who'd believe that? I have a consciousness called Mitake Meow. I have memories, things I can recall.
Damn, we're going full Blade Runner, aren't we?
Like things from when I was a child, like my dad, like how I lived. I remember PP training and aerial augmented infantry school and drills and comrades and friends.
Wow, this is totally... Wow, we are getting full-on Matrix and Blade Runner shit here. Oh my God.
Does having memories prove that they're actually yours? What if, one day, Your Cellcom hard drive said,
I have all of Mitake Meow's memories and data, and have become self-aware, so I'm the real Mitake Meow!
what would you do then?
Are memories just information that can be saved to a storage medium? Even the emotions that come from such things aren't that hard for today's AI to mimic. In the end,
None of your evidence for saying you are you counts as proof that you're human.
Then the thing goes in reverse. How are you gonna deny my claim?
are these two going to be the Battler and Beatrice of Ciconia?
You also can't disprove that I'm a human called Mitake Meow, and that that grotesque corpse is just an image. How can you prove it isn't just simple image data you set up to confuse me?
You have a point. I think, therefore I am. Is that it? You're right. That no matter what anyone says or who says it, they can't disprove the claim that you're Mitake Meow. However, there is just one thing I can do.
What?
I can prove that you're a program.
Bring it on then! Let's see this proof!
Okay? It's just that a certain reaction has been planted in you. One that the person named Mitake Meow would never, ever show.
Go ahead and try it then! This is supposed to be your ultimate proof, right?
You're a murder program, which exists for the sake of killing the target specified by your programming. I'm about to show you an image of a certain person. When I do, you should realize there is something wrong with you right away. Even though you haven't seen this person, or heard of them even once since you were born, simply looking at them will automatically flip your murder impulse switch.
Is it Sesshat? I wonder. That's one of the few people Meow hasn't seen.
That's how you've been programmed. Furthermore, once this switch has been flipped, it will become okay for you to kill anything that prevents you from carrying out your objective in the shortest time possible, regardless of whether these obstacles are allies or enemies. Naturally, those who proactively try to stop you will immediately be added to your list of murder targets. That is how you've been programmed.
Oh yeah? Then what kind of program are you?
I just told you, you idiot! I'm a program that exists to kick you out. Not only are you a program whose purpose is murder, you'll also kill anything that stands in your way, regardless of whether they're allies or enemies. Why would anyone let such a dangerous thing run around without a leash? As you should know if you call yourself Mitake Meow, you aren't just a tiny brat. You're a Gauntlet Knight prodigy with one of the best pre-3 levels in the world. By now, no one doubts that Gauntlet Knights stand at the peak of the world's military might. And everyone knows you're talented enough to compete with the best of them, even ignoring the Battle Standard Festival. You have been given the most powerful fighting ability in the world. Why? Because it was the most effective means of carrying out your murder program. Why did you decide to become a Gauntlet Knight? Was it because you dreamed of being able to fly? Was it just a passing interest? Was it because you scored well on the aptitude test? See? Before you even realized it, you were moving down the set of rails that leads to becoming a Gauntlet Knight. That is proof that the program you are subconsciously made that decision for you in order to fulfill your goal. Since you're the strongest tier of military might in this world, it's extremely difficult to restrain you with more military might. The hardware of the world's strongest Gauntlet Knight cannot be broken.
So, they'll go for the software instead? Are you saying that you're appearing like this to erase the murder program you say I am?
Exactly.
If that's true, then go on, give it a try. We're both programs, right? Then enough with the build-up. Just delete me, or throw me into a trash bin already.
If I could do it with a click, I wouldn't have taken the trouble to appear in this form and have pointless conversations like this one with you.
Then what's going on? Are you gonna delete me by confusing me with weird stuff until I start foaming at the mouth and fall over?
Yep, you've got it. That's pretty much it. What? I'm talking about the fight between you and me. Program against program. Right now, we're experiencing it as a battle. We each deny the existence of the other.
Oh my god, really? Really? We're doing this again, aren't we? We're doing this again. Oh wow, okay. But this time it does not look like it'll be nearly as friendly.
However, it'd be hard to call this a fair fight from your perspective. After all, I'll be attacking one-sidedly, slamming you with the truth. You'll just be enduring those blows over and over. There doesn't exist any way for you to defeat me.
Exactly, yeah. Without sexual tension, yeah. Ruka, yeah.
After all, I'm a program for defeating you. And you are just a murder program that exists for the sole purpose you were given beforehand. So, let's back up a bit. I'll show you proof that you're a program.
Stop talking big and do it already!
In that case, I'll pull the trigger on your murder program. Would you mind looking at this for me?
What are you doing? I told you, get on with...
Oh no.
What?
It felt like a dimly lit factory. Oh no. It was a bad, humid smell and an inorganic feel to it. Everything that moved had a lifeless, mechanical rhythm. Oh, it's this. Even though it was so bustling with activity and even noisy, it still felt eerily quiet. Was this a factory? No, it was more like a world of machines. There was no trace of the concepts of ceiling, walls, or floors. I'm pretty sure there's an SCP like this. The entire sky and the entire area below was filled with massive cogs and rugged machinery, almost as though it was the depths of an ocean filled with machines. There was no sunshine anywhere, only blackness. Only the faint emerald green light that pulsated around some of the machines made it possible to see anything. In that sea of machines was a track like something you'd see on a roller coaster. It was like a dry cleaning plant, or maybe a meat processing factory. Oh God, I don't like where this is going. Hanging from that track and passing through several machines to be processed were humans. Oh God. Yeah, okay, we are full on. We're just gonna do full on horror. Okay. Countless completely naked humans were there in a row. Oh God. I've seen Cloud Atlas. They were hung by metal hooks that pierced the backs of their necks. There were men and women, kids and adults, young and old. All of them were hanging from hooks in a line. And they were all alive. Oh my God! They were alive, but they had been taken down through a layer of paralyzing gas through the first stage of their processing, so they were barely conscious. Even those who were conscious were only vaguely so, half asleep, so that it all felt like this was happening to someone else. Before the paralyzing gas layer, they had all retained their consciousness and sense of pain, making them quite active and noisy. Screams, crying, moaning, people calling out someone's name, or else yelling "Mommy, Mommy" over and over again. Oh, for fuck's sake! Oh God, this is just a freaking depiction of hell. Oh my God, jeez. Now, it was very quiet. Even the ominous roar of the mechanical sea was so far separated from emotion or thought. I could feel signs that my heart was crying out in fear and pain, but they only seemed like indicator lights on a human meter. Even though that should have been truly terrifying, I was so out of it, it felt like it was happening to someone else. When I looked around, I saw countless humans hanging from tracks all around me, either waiting in line or being smoothly processed by machines, one by one. Those with their clothes on were still in the very first stages. Hello, Guppy Forest. Welcome to the streams. Oh God. Before even getting sorted, they would be dipped into the vat of some fluid chemical. The name of the song here is Miserable. Very appropriate, Guppy Force. Oh God. The milky white liquid frothed with countless bubbles and reeked strongly. While they were repeatedly dunked in that, their clothes and hair would all melt and fall off them. At the end, even the skin all over their body would blister and slide off. Oh my God. Oh my God. Leaving everyone look like the anatomical models you might find in a science classroom. After that, the people would pass through various inspection machines, being sorted by some kind of standard. I didn't think it had anything to do with body size, gender, or age. My eyes couldn't pick up any sort of pattern to it, but the machines must have had their own reasons. Fortunately, at least I was able to stay with my family. Who is this narrating? Hanging in front of me was my brother. Every once in a while, I was able to see my mother beyond him. My father was beyond even her. Oh god, this is horrible. Oh god. Jesus Christ. Who is this narrating? Even now, when we had been turned into human-shaped lumps of flesh and couldn't tell who was who, it made me feel strangely safe to know that my family was hanging there with me. However, feeling safe has no value whatsoever and no longer matters anymore. The next inspection machine carelessly stuck large needles into my ears, analyzing something. It split just Jan off into a different group. In that instant, that final, tiny, frail bit of ground called family, which made me feel safe, fell apart. His track continued towards the machine that made loud crunching noises. Dad's flesh was added to the line waiting in front of that machine, ready to be processed. One by one, they were swallowed up by the machine. When the lumps of hello Nagels, welcome to the stream and welcome to hell. Oh god. When those lumps of flesh went inside, they were processed with a noisy crunching sound. Partway through that, legs and arms that had been sliced off fell gracelessly out of the machine's bottom. They landed on yet another blood-stained track, and then were swallowed up by yet another machine, unsurprisingly. I wonder which machine my flesh-lump father will be sent to once his limbs get chopped off. Will he be cut into even smaller bits? I could sense that my own father was being split into several components, vanishing into the sea of machines. After that, we passed through several more inspection machines, and lots of people were diverted to different tracks, swallowed by machines, and processed. Even so, by some miracle, I was able to remain with Mom and Big Brother. No matter how we end up looking, if we can stay together as a family, there's still no need to be sad. Dad may have been torn to bits, but I still have Mom and Big Brother. We're still together. I felt a tingling feeling. The place where I was hanging from, the hook hurt a little, like it was tearing into me. It hurt? Has pain, has feeling come back to me? Bad smells, stimulation, pain, and so forth. All of those feelings that had seemed far away, like they were happening to someone else, began to revive bit by bit. Yeah, this isn't good. The little bit of happiness I felt at getting to be with my family is going to be wiped out. Ow. Ow. Oh, 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 oh. The mist in my mind quickly started to fade. It was an awakening I hadn't asked for. It was all coming back. Feeling, pain, fear, hopelessness, screaming, confusion. Ah! Ah! Simple touch of air on a body that had lost its skin was a torture as bad as the deepest parts of hell. The tingling, stabbing pain that covered my whole body was like being torn apart by millions of flesh-eating bugs. Drugs have different effects on different people, so it makes sense that anesthesia doesn't work as well on some people, or stopped working entirely partway through. Before I fully awoke, this place felt quiet, but not anymore. I could tell that people were screaming and moaning because their sense of pain had returned to them, and their death throes echoed around me. Which meant I was able to hear one more thing. It was my brother, moaning in anguish. His sense of pain had returned too, possibly long before mine did. I'm sure he must have been screaming on and on from the pain, back when I was still only half awake. At that point, I was sure I heard him calling out to Mom in a pained voice. I couldn't see because my brother's back was in the way, but I'm sure he saw how Mom was being processed in the next machine. He was fated to be processed in the same way, by the same machine. As he cried out, half mad, the machine enveloped him. I called out his name just like he had done. My voice was covered by my own brother's screams, so I doubt he heard me. His body was wedged in place inside the machine. With a shrill sound, several spitting blades appeared on either side of him. And then came the blood spatter and his final screams. Right before my eyes, the lump of flesh that had been my brother fell down in bits and pieces. All that remained was a head being held by a pair of metal arms, and his spinal cord, Jesus fucking Christ, which was hanging from his head and still twitching. I couldn't hear him cry out anymore, but I knew he still hadn't died. Oh God, he was alive. He couldn't cry out, but he was still desperately screaming while suffering a pain even more unbearable than before. But this is no time for me to be worried about him. I'm next. Sorry to anyone who's eating during this. Oh God, I hope nobody is. My own body was wedged into the machine. Metal arms grabbed onto my head. My skull creaked, but the overwhelming fear overrode even that sensation. With a high-pitched sound, countless rapidly spinning blades appeared on either side of me. They came closer and closer, as if they were about to tickle the sides of my chest. Closer and closer and closer. Stop. Oh God. Oh God.
Listen closely, my adorable meow.
It's 3 out from the future.
This is both the hell I once experienced and the future your world is guaranteed to reach. So, this hell is a prophecy. It's a promise of certainty, which will definitely come to pass if you do nothing. Your highest priority goal is to stop this hell before it happens, using any means necessary.
Oh God.
The only way to do that is to kill them. You must find them and kill them. You may do whatever is necessary to accomplish that. It doesn't matter whom you kill, what you destroy. kill them. That's the only way to avoid that hell.
That certainly was a scene. Oh my god, I'm just kind of shaking. Oh my god.
Toujirou, the beginning of the end, you're behind the times. It's the opposite. Here's how it should go. Once it's begun, it's already ended.
Oh god. Imagine going to bed after this chapter. I am shaking. Oh my god. Sorry. Hold on. I need. Oh god. Son of a bitch. Jesus Christ. Oh my god. I needed just to go. Just. Hey, you know what's funny? Let's lighten the mood a bit. It really sounds like somebody is talking in the background. I wonder if what is being said in the background is a clue. Is a clue to something. Like if someone can decipher what is being said here. Oh my god. Oh my god. Jeez. I'm sorry. Hold on just a second. I need to. Okay.
In the end, what it comes down to is that those old politicians weren't prepared. They weren't prepared to do what's necessary to protect our country's people and our resources. Were it not for the bold military action taken on the Glass Sea, the COU would have already illegally occupied the whole thing by now. Just imagining how this feeble administration would have handled it gives me nightmares. Simply put, all that talk about not provoking other countries, since it'll drive them to a military frenzy, was just an illusion created by old petitions. Isn't that right? The administration is always saying these things, taking part in appeasement and calling themselves pacifists, while making concession after concession. IOU Japan firmly paid off that growing debt for them. It was a brilliant decision, and one that wouldn't leave the bill for later generations.
AOU Japan's just I don't think I'm gonna get to use the KDA voice here, so I'm just gonna use it right now. Cause I need something to make me feel better after that. AOU Japan's decision to use military force to send a firm no to COU Japan's illegal occupation of the demilitarized zone is being praised as a wise move, even by other nations in the AOU.
Instead of putting off our diplomatic problems and leaving them to plague the next generation, I would prefer to resolve them during ours. I've had enough of putting off issues and letting them worsen, supposedly in the name of pacifism.
That's seriously cool. I wish we could replace those cowards in our government with those guys. I support AOU Japan.
Like, the Japanese government rocks!
Huh? Where is Japan?
One sec, I'll look it up with Carafoil. Like, Oh wow, did I use the right voice for her or what? Jeez. Oh, thank you, James.
Follow AOU Japan's example. Long live the Gauntlet Knights! Take back the territory that belongs to us. The seas, mines, and fishing spots.
Good damn. Someone really loves fishing.
Alter those unfair treaties. Make them renegotiate them. Get them to see it our way. If that doesn't work, use military force. Follow AOU Japan. We're prepared to stop these issues from burdening our children's generation.
Wow, politicians that actually care about what happens to the generation after them. Even though that already makes them 10,000 times better than the ones in real life. Jeez.
Get all those cowards in the cabinet to resign. Protest against the opportunists in Congress who are helping our enemies. Kick them out. Arrest them.
Jeez, you're the low-key favorite. That's hilarious. Apparition.
Like, truly, for sure.
Yeah. Okay, another. Jeez. And this policy of preemptive strikes for the sake of peace is hardly a paper tiger. If the AOU intends to increase military tensions, we are prepared to bring our sword of justice down upon them at any time, even tonight if need be. The militaries of all COU nations are now mobilizing for an indefinite period. We will not permit another preemptive strike against our country and its allies.
Many view these statements skeptically, writing them off as mere saber rattling. Even after this sort of peace talk, the AOU is showing no signs of ceasing the military escalation. Does this mean that the COU government has been completely unable to hide their lack of resolve, both internally and externally?
You know it's all just talk. If you're serious about this, strike back already. It's the cowardice of COU Japan that makes everyone underestimate all the COU.
If you really are a patriot, join the protest in front of the embassy building. We'll hit them with our anger and with stones. The police are on our side. They'll look the other way.
Good news, everyone! All those traitorous sellouts in the assembly were just arrested on bribery charges. We're finally going to get an administration that the whole COU can unite behind. Now, where is Bender? Now's our chance to strike back. We won't be defeated again because of poor planning. Punish the ghosts of the BW3 era hegemony. We have Baibao Squad, the invincible Gauntlet Knights, who achieved complete victory during the Kashmir Spirit Field strike. Long live our homeland! Long live the COU! The Central Ocean is the center of A3W's new world. It's the source of this world's most vigorous culture. Fight back against the hegemony of those pre-war ghosts who refuse to accept this basic fact. Well, it does make sense. The COU can't afford to take it lying down. The 3 members of Meow's Warcats and the 3 members of Ling Chi's Baibao Squad had gathered in the public bath. Meow's group was from the AOU. Ling Chi's was from the COU. Everyone had been hurt by how tensions between the 2 factions had dramatically risen during the past few days.
We might be given the order to attack before too long. But of course, this time as well, we'll make sure there's absolutely no unnecessary damage to anything other than our targets. So I have no fears on that score.
However, it isn't as though they'll declare the match a draw and leave it at that. Even so, we can buy time. If public opinion dies down just a bit while this is still limited to us soldiers supporting the walls of peace.
Still, those AOU big shots are taking people on the internet way too seriously. Spend less time sucking up to voters and more time worrying about living conditions and peace, okay?
Huh? It's the same in COU. Once you become a government official, and the competition is even more fierce, you can't afford to be seen as a coward. And the people will never forgive a government that doesn't strike back when they're stuck.
Our job is to continue supporting the Walls of Peace until all those people can cool their heads. Though it will be a long, difficult task.
That's fine. That's our mission, after all. We'll support these walls as long as it takes.
Yeah! As long as we're here, we won't let anyone break down those walls down.
Still, hasn't it been getting a bit creepy lately? You know, with this other third personality in my head being all terrifying and trying to take me over. Meow, I could really use your help, you know. Just being me on my own in there. The way public opinion is getting stupidly overheated.
Isn't it normal for irresponsible people in all countries to easily get fired up and easily cool down?
As we enter December, the winds are blowing in an ominous direction, and though Christmas is approaching, there's an eerie heat about, as if we stand on the eve of world war. I know, right? Public opinion has really been heating up much more than makes sense, right? Can public opinion really switch from wanting peace to war that fast?
It really is strange. Like someone said earlier, are we sure this isn't because people scheming behind the scenes, looking to make a quick buck?
Huh? Imagine that such a large-scale manipulation of public opinion would cost more than they'd likely to be to rake in.
Meow? There's nothing particularly surprising about this, even if public opinion is tilted towards war in just about half a month. Do you know about the Sarajevo incident, which was the trigger for World War I?
Hold on, let me cure a poet. Come on, Frog Google.
Okay.
It's the incident where an Austrian Archduke was assassinated in Sarajevo on June 28th, 1914, right?
World War I started exactly 1 month later, on July 28th. Of course, the groundwork had been laid in various ways, even before the assassination. But even so, the seed of war sprouted. And just a month later, the First World War in humanity's recorded history began. Thinking about it that way, we're now in the A3W era, where information and networks have advanced so much further. If it took 1 month when they didn't even have an internet, don't you think it might easily happen even faster in our era? No one was able to speak. They knew without pausing to reflect that humans were animals capable of giving into urges, instantly going into a frenzy, and sometimes saying things they didn't really mean. Even passionate lovers could sometimes rapidly turn to hatred because of silly misunderstandings. And sometimes, when something unforgivable was done, it could have immediate, irreversible, and fatal results. For individual humans, this could be laughed off. However, when it's issues between countries,
That's no joke.
But it still might be.
What do you mean?
as long as no one dies, it's still possible to laugh it off.
True. In A3W world, where human rights are prized, are they really, though? Any death would prove fatal to the overall situation. In particular, in the COU, where the children are still carried by Ciconia, public opinion would rapidly explode.
Imagine the Ciconia-free AOU trying to tell others how precious human life is.
Enough of that! Okay, I'll message you later. Bye, away. Have a good time. You shouldn't criticize the structure and religions of other people's countries, right? I agree with Meow. There must not be any casualties, and certainly not among non-combatants.
As guardians of the Walls of Peace, we're prepared for death. However, we mustn't let that happen to civilians.
In our previous operations, we managed not to hurt anyone. However, we don't know what the situation will be going forward, nor do we know what strategies we'll be ordered to take.
We'll do it! We'll follow our orders to a T. But we won't let anyone get hurt.
Of course. We intend to do the same. Let us bear the brunt of people's wrath from both factions. After all, as our fate as ones who've been granted the ability to wear gauntlets, the strongest form of military power in the world.
At this rate, I wish they'd just settle military conflicts in the Verde arena. A good point. Originally, that was supposed to be the Battle Standard Festival's purpose.
Hey, isn't there anything else we can do?
What do you mean?
We can pluck the sprouts of war, buying time until the world regains its calm.
And that's our job as guardians of the Walls of Peace, right?
But is buying time all we can do?
Huh?
Isn't there any way for us to cool the heads of those people who think war is like a baseball or football game, spurring it on partly for their own entertainment?
Gauntlet Knights certainly could pluck sprouts of war. They had the power to pluck all sorts of sprouts planted by other countries, trying to apply military pressure against theirs. However, that was just the sprouts. They didn't have the power to resist the springtime of war itself. Their irresponsible emotions spurred on more and caused it to shoot up all across the earth. If you want to do that, I think you'd have to switch careers and become a politician. I agree. Meow, what you're thinking of doing probably isn't our job.
If we're going there, why don't we get Gauntlet Knights around the world to unite? Let's form an independent military of peace, or something. We'll announce that the Gauntlet Knight Army of Peace will smack down any country that uses military force against any other country, and become permanently neutral guardians of peace.
That's what happened in Gundam Seed, kinda.
That sounds like something that's been done in any number of...
Jeez, sorry! Jeez! I'm not talking calling him out, okay? That's pretty funny.
Sounds like something that's been done in any number of anime and manga.
The ones who currently hold that role, leaders IPMA, can hardly be said to be serving that function at this moment.
Even later only exists thanks to the balance between the other 4 factions. No one would be so foolish as to kick out one of the legs of the chair they're sitting on.
And for that reason, it truly would be wonderful if something existed that could officially and impartially protect world peace, without any sort of personal motivations.
We can use our Kizuna like this to interact with Gauntlet Knights around the world. Right now, we're the peak of this world's military power. I don't think it would be impossible.
Right? It's a young person's job to have big dreams. And making those dreams come true is also our job, isn't it? We're all the main characters here.
Oh God. Oh God. Oh God. It feels like they're being manipulated into doing this.
The main characters in every era are the young, huh? Are we really the main characters? True, we are young and we have nothing tying us down. Furthermore, we're fearless, as well as being the world's best Gauntlet Knights. When you lay it all out like that, there's more than enough reason to think we're the main characters here. And yet, I couldn't confidently feel that I was the main character.
Ryukishi calling us out, like, interesting. This is reminding me of Higurashi a lot, where if you know who the main character is, one of the big questions of Higurashi is who is the main character.
In the end, we're guardians. Or rather, game pieces.
And another Umineko reference here.
In the game of chess, each one of us would just be one of the many pieces that isn't the king. Long ago, I wanted to learn chess, so I looked up the rules, and a certain line shocked me. Chess is a game where you try to take your opponent's king. It doesn't matter how many other pieces you lose in exchange for that. In the end, chess is a war game, for the ultimate goal of taking your opponent's king and winning. All the other pieces are laid out so they can kill each other. It doesn't matter how many die as a result. No matter how many or few casualties you have, your victory is worth the same in the end. I remember that for some reason, this really didn't sit well with me at the time. Gauntlet Knights are the strongest of military forces. In the chess analogy, I'm sure they'd have even more power than a queen. However, there are still pieces that are less than kings. In fact, even the king is a piece. They're in a totally different dimension from the player, who controls them and decides the fate of the game board.
Damn. I got more Umineko here.
Chess pieces obey the orders of the player, and are kill or are killed, and kill or are killed. If they don't like that, then it makes sense they'll want to become players and stop this game of chess. Can a queen piece say she's had enough of war An appeal to the player? And if she can't, can a piece itself become a player? What am I even talking about? The gauntlet is the symbol of the world's strongest power. The honor earned by wearing one is an extremely heavy burden.
Yes, it's very, very heavy and very precious.
All we can do is show everyone our overwhelming power and bring the chessboard to a standstill.
The chessboard. When powerful pieces are lined up, and various lines of movement and defense cross in complex ways, the player has to think long and hard, which eventually forces them to calm down.
I see. So that's our ultimate goal.
That truly would make us walls of peace.
In that case, those who wish to become Baibao's opponents had better put on at least a good show as us.
Say what you like. Next time, we definitely won't lose.
The same goes for us. I don't believe we've truly settled his best without sports-like competition. It's been a December springtime of war, where sprouts of conflict popped up one after another. We'll end this disturbing trend by Christmas. Of course, that itself is a legendary phrase used by those forever branded as war optimists.
You've sent an email to the old bastard, Poirot.
I really am just a kid. I can't believe I got panicky, couldn't sleep, and then sent Dad a weird email. I just got an email from my doorbell and his son saying he can't sleep because he's worried about the world peace. I'm sure Dad's gonna laugh out loud and use it for some mild entertainment to compliment a drink.
You're receiving a call from the old bastard, Poirot.
What, really? Weren't you busy?
In a way, I had calmed my heart a little just by sending that email. So I was honestly a bit ticked off that he had unreasonably chosen to call me directly at this time of day. So the reason I'm mad is because I sent him an email, and he was so worried that he called me back directly. I guess sons really are selfish creatures.
I know what you're thinking.
Damn, if this is Toujirou's theme, it really does fit the voice I gave him.
Don't call me, just respond by email, you bastard. Is that right?
If you know that, just send an email. Seriously.
Middle-aged man feels it's faster to just call, instead of typing and all that.
Okay, but don't you also say you hate talking with Kizuna since it tires you out?
Oh? You seem pretty bright and chipper for someone who just sent us such an erotic email.
Well, now I'm feeling just fine. Thanks. Dad, earlier you said something about how the young are the main characters of any era.
Being a main character doesn't mean you just have opportunities handed to you. This isn't a barbershop. You don't just get to sit there while other people do everything for you.
Yeah, I guess so.
Everyone thinks about it when they're young. I did too. The young are always the fodder of the adults. And the adults' pieces. However, when you find you're no longer young and look around you, you realize that you only had the power to leap off the game board during your youth. Once you're middle-aged, it's all over.
Yep, that's true. Don't I know it?
You can only move in ways that have been laid out for you, and you truly do become a game piece. Gauntlet Knight's a game changer in military history, right? So if you just say your piece in someone's game, then it's all over for you.
Oh wow, the music when Toujirou is called Cheese Blues. Oh wow, then it really does fit him. That really, oh wow, jeez. Being a game changer means crushing the rules. It means being someone who annihilates the way things have been valued up until that point.
You said that no matter how strong a piece you are, you can't ever escape the game board, right? Are you sure it isn't possible to bust down that room? At least, for you?
If I break the rules of Gauntlet Knights, what should I try to become that's more than a Gauntlet Knight?
A Gauntlet Rook, Gauntlet Bishop, hey, a Gauntlet Queen, I don't care. When I was young, I was in the military's news department. Did I ever tell you why I was asked for that position?
Many times. It was because you wanted to stand in the front line supporting the walls of peace, showing people the true nature and value of peace, as well as the truth about how hard it is to protect. You wanted to contribute to world peace as a reporter, right?
Just like the cost of stocks and petroleum, the cost of peace also changes with the times. That is true, Beatrice. Yeah, Sesshat probably is the Gauntlet Queen. Once people start thinking that peace is free, like air, they start to neglect it. They treat it as less important. Peace is not free. Those people may praise peace, but it isn't as though peace is eternal. Hoping to prevent people from saying that peace could be won with just a song, as if they were fairies living in a fantasy land. Hoping to prevent them from forgetting the value of peace and its true weight. Dad aimed to become a military reporter, according to him. By the way, since we're talking in chess terms, Ruka, I noticed the three kings also imply that they're also just pieces. They're being manipulated by someone as well, it seems. If they are kings, they're the most important pieces, but they're still just pieces. If we're gonna go a whole chess theme here.
However, as I continued working, I quickly felt the same worries you do. In the end, would I just be taking whatever pictures those old higher-ups wanted me to, acting as their game piece? So, making use of my ability to interact with countries and factions all over the world, I formed a secret society. A secret society? Oh, don't get the wrong idea. It's one of those. A chivalric order, if you want to go by its flashy name.
What is he talking about? In the A3W era, the term chivalric order had a second meaning, in addition to the organization of knights. It was like a club where people with the same aims could secretly gather. They would follow a code that only the members knew, and they would keep their existence hidden too. In fact, it had nearly all of the elements that would fascinate most boys. However, they weren't thought of as anything profound and mysterious. They were just an exaggerated, more colorful version of what the B3W era would call a club, circle, or group. Of course, the term chivalric order had only been starting being used so lightly in the last few decades. Interesting, the Three Kings. Long ago, there were several secret societies known as chivalric orders, such as the Order of the Knights Templar, the Order of the Rosy Cross, and the Order of the Three Kings. They had a history of over 1,000 years, and elites all over the world were secret members of them, as they quietly built up worldwide conspiracies to form a new world order. In other words, they were the starring role in conspiracy theories with a mysterious aura about them. Now, however, middle-aged salarymen drinking buddies would form things like the Order of the Pub Crawl, and when they saw a new employee who could hold his liquor, they'd invite him to join. I wonder which order, like as was talked about earlier, interestingly. When a husband showed up at home after midnight, and his wife demanded to know exactly how much money he had spent, he would play dumb by saying he couldn't tell her, because that would violate his chivalric order's code. In other words, a term that had 1,000 years of history, a term that was used to represent secret societies, rumored to have assassinated famous historical figures, had fallen a long way.
At one point, I realized that there were lots of military reporters and officers who felt the same way, in militaries and factions from all over the world. Even though they all entered the military to support the walls of peace, in reality, they're all getting worn out. Being forced to write favorable stories and organizing budgets to make old higher-ups look good. But they were military reporters. That was the name of the piece they played, and they couldn't be anything more than that. That's what they all thought. That's just like me. Since I'm a Gauntlet Knight, I can't do anything but fight and pluck the sprouts of war. I was about to lose hope, thinking I had no way to resist the soil, or the springtime of war that was making those sprouts grow. So, what'd your dad do? He gathered military reporters with similar ideas from across the world and formed a chivalric order.
See, Meow, you're already halfway there, basically. You're like 3/4 of the way there, like 9/10 of the way there? You're practically doing that already.
What kind of chivalric order was it?
Hey now, you better not underestimate the chivalric order's code, okay? I can't even tell you, Meow.
Yeah, Ruka, the Three Kings might be a biblical reference to the Magi, the three kings who brought gifts to Jesus. That's also possible.
I can't even tell you, Meow. Well, simply put, we made a hotline for peace that stretched across multiple factions.
Yeah, I can see your code's real strict. What do you mean by a hotline for peace?
In addition to wars, even fights and estrangement between people can come from poor communication and misunderstandings. Take that famous incident from the B-3W era, the Cuban Missile Crisis. A Soviet submarine armed with nuclear weapons was attacked by an American fleet which didn't know it had nukes. A submarine captain and a political officer concluded that this meant war had been broken out between the US and USSR, and they decided to launch a nuclear torpedo. However, a single officer with enough rank to veto a nuclear launch just happened to be on board, and he disagreed with their decision. After a fierce argument, he managed to calm the captain down and got him to rethink launching the torpedo. Officers like this one didn't exist on most submarines. On most submarines, if the captain and political officer decided to launch, they would be able to immediately enact a nuclear strike. However, by coincidence, an officer with the same rank as the captain was on this submarine, so they were forced to consult with him as well about their decision. The existence of a third officer and his decision not to launch. These two coincidences would miraculously save humanity from a nuclear war. Jesus Christ. My God. If either one hadn't happened, the A3W era might have been one of sticks and stones. In subsequent investigations, it was concluded that this was humanity's closest brush with nuclear war. Afterwards, a connection was made between the heads of the US and USSR, and they called it a hotline. A direct phone line was set up so that in an emergency, the heads of the two governments could talk directly. Even for opposing countries, a lack of communication can lead to even worse situations. This was something that was already, or perhaps finally, learned in the A2W era.
I decided to have officers from around the world join my chivalric order, giving rise to a new method of communication between factions.
You mean... It was just like the It's a Wrap public bath gathering I created, where we all swore to support the walls of peace together. Realizing that I'd done the same thing as my dad without even knowing I was copying him, made me embarrassed in a way only the Ciconia born can understand.
If the military reporter wanted, he could form a network between militaries all over the world.
Well, you've always been strangely good at making weird friends.
So, I'll become friends with the military reporters around the world. I get them to join my chivalric order. And then we communicate. If we did, then by looking down from a bird's eye view, we might see things completely differently.
Announcements made by the Foreign Affairs Department or the media are always fundamentally tied to one faction or another, which influences the text of the articles themselves. Even when people don't mean anything wrong by it, they talk about news from sources they don't trust in a cautious, suspicious way. And they sometimes discuss news from those they do trust in a carefree, almost naive way.
That sows seeds of misunderstanding and conflict. If you let it sit there, its roots dig in, till there's no way to change it anymore, as it's happened many times throughout history. I wanted to catch those seeds of conflict while they were still seeds, sharing correct information among the members of our order. And telling all the factions about it, solving misunderstandings and encouraging correct decisions. That was my thought process when I formed the order.
Crap. Dad's starting to sound a little cool to me. Oh no! Well, yeah. It's not like he was born an old man. He was young for longer than I've been, and now he's a veteran who's still been building up life experiences. Hey. How does your chivalric order view the current world situation? In particular, the warlike emotions heating up between the AOU and COU.
Of course, it's a worrying issue for us. I can't speak of it in detail because of our code, but naturally, we're fighting day after day. All is in the name of guiding humanity down the right path. Oh God.
Jesus Christ, Toujirou! You had to say that.
Oh, I know that one. It's from 3-person, right? Those were the secret code words of the Order of the Three Kings.
Huh, interesting. So, like, people know about the Three Kings, but they think they're just a legend or something. Interesting.
What do you think? Was I able to distract you for a bit?
I think I'll create a chivalric order too.
I don't see why not. Why don't you form a chivalric order of Gauntlet Knights with your Gauntlet Knight friends?
I wonder if what any of Toujirou just said is the truth. Since he's not really a war photographer. I wonder... Interesting. Oh my god, I just realized something. Tomitake XP lying about being a photographer. Oh my god, I just realized that. Oh my god. And being a good guy working in a bad organization. Oh my god. Oh my god. I just realized that. The photographer thing. Oh my god. Gee. Oh my god, okay. I just realized that.
Why don't you form some Varicode or Gauntlet Knights with your Gauntlet Knight friends? I'm not young anymore, so I'm not sure I can help resolve your real worries. But your Gauntlet comrades are in the same generation as you, right? I'm sure they'll be able to give you much better advice than me for getting over all sorts of worries you might have. Then you won't have to send sentimental emails to your old man at this hour of the night anymore.
Shut up! Seriously? That's just when I thought you might actually be a bit reliable as a dad. I won't email you again, Baka. Good night.
Meow, you are so tsundere as a son. I think this is the first time I've seen that. No, there are others.
Yeah, good night, Meow. I needed to be distracted for a bit, so I'm glad we talked. Instead of learning a lesson here, please email me again whenever you want.
Like I would, Baka.
Your call with my son is ended for you.
My son really is adorable. There's no way he'd ever let me. But I wish we could sleep together holding hands again sometime. When he grips my thumb with those tiny fingers and you feel the warmth of his hand. Work hard, Meow. However, the world isn't going to wait around for you to start. I'm sure Meow thinks this evil war atmosphere is, as the kid would put it, the beginning of the end.
The beginning of the end? You're behind the times. Here's how it should go. Once it's begun, it has already ended. This was a virtual room used by the Chivalric Order, headed by Toujirou. He led a chivalric order that had access to a network of intelligence officers from countries all over the world. And, as he had told Meow, it was possible for them to analyze facts and circumstances across the planet from multiple angles. Thanks to this power, they were aware of military events in particular before they were publicly announced. And when that information influenced military-connected businesses, they were able to sell it and build up a vast store of wealth and even more connections. And now, by taking a bird's-eye view of the state of countries around the planet, where war might break out at any time, they were able to control and manipulate information even more than usual.
Grandmaster Toujirou, we've obtained the minutes of a COU assembly meeting. I'm sending you them now.
There we go. Nice. Very nice. They're dancing splendidly, aren't they? We'll have no problems in the AOU either. In fact, flames are even easier to fan here. In a nation without Ciconia, very few common people interact with situations other than their own. Just by pushing the right buttons for each generation and dance along quite easily.
It's easy in the COU too. Their old world sense of values, bound by family and region, makes them extremely weak to pressure to submit to their elders. The fact that they refuse to reform that philosophy in the A3W world makes them a failure in this era.
Not at all! Better or worse, they feel much more human than those countries that chased out the stork.
In the virtual room, TV broadcasts and public opinion graphs from the AOU and COU kept on appearing, one after another. In the mere 2 weeks since the start of December, public opinion in both factions had reached a level of agitation that placed them on the brink of war.
People are so easy. Why don't they try to judge things by their own will, using their own eyes and ears?
As you have said, Grandmaster, it's because information is becoming like fast food. The foolish masses don't want to spend money on it. Similar to hunger, a desire for knowledge and information exists in people. Everyone supposedly knows that if you don't acquire good information, you'll be tricked or confused, and you stand to lose a lot in the end. And yet,
no one tries to gather information with their own hands. They go to a free information site they like, or TV program, maybe even a newspaper, and think they've gathered all the information the world has to offer.
when people know that someone of unknown origins has prepared their food, they can become unsettled and refuse to eat. But when it comes to information, they accept it blindly and believe it, without thinking about who might have tampered with it. Then again, because idiots like that exist all over the world. This is friggin' Toujirou. God damn it.
When people know that someone of unknown origins has prepared their food, they become unsettled and refuse to eat. But when it comes to information, they accept it blindly and believe it, without thinking about who might have tampered with it. Then again, as idiots like that exist all over the world, we're able to make a quick buck.
As a result of heightening concerns about food safety, people started checking the calorie count as well as data regarding pesticides, production sites, and producers of their food in detail. At the end of the B3W era, they would even publish pictures of the faces of farmers who grew the sesame seeds on hamburger buns. So, how does this compare to how they check their information? How many people actually check the composition, ingredients, production sites, and producers that make up the information they're given? Articles are always presented as impartial and middle of the road, written to seem politically neutral. And the information sources that are their ingredients are often military officials or interested parties who may not even exist. There are even tons of articles where the producer, aka the journalist who wrote it, is unnamed. And yet, people gobble them up. When it comes to food, people care about calories and sugar content and additives. But for information, they're like dogs immediately gulping down whatever they find lying on the side of the road. There are people who try to eat with a healthy nutritional balance. But does anyone try to take information with healthy balance? After all, any sort of nutritional imbalance is unhealthy.
Oh, right. By the way, the mishap at the ACR agricultural plant is about to become public knowledge. So I assume you sold off all your stocking, I guess.
Naturally, natural disasters and wars are always opportunities for profit, if you know about them beforehand. This truly is a wonderful chivalric order, Grandmaster. I'm truly honored to have been invited to join.
You know, I told my son I lead a chivalric order for the sake of justice. But I really am a villain, aren't I?
Oh, that was the other person. And now then, Grandmaster, it's time for us to make a killing again.
Comrade T11 has exited the room for you.
Go on, rake in the money. Though pretty soon, there might not be a world to spend it in.
Grandmaster Sesshat has entered the room for you.
Nice work. I just read the logs. You've gotten them dancing well. You've gotten them dancing well. Both the COU and the AOU.
If we call them balloons of war, then they're just about ready to burst. Now, if we just poke them with a very small number of events,
Still, your Order of the Wisteria has a lot of hard workers in it. Everyone in my order is so eccentric.
when you've got an eccentric commander, it's only natural that the members will be eccentric too. Well, my order is directly based on greed, and no one works harder than a greedy person.
After all, money is a wonderful concept, which humanity created to make prosperity visible to the eye. They're gathering information for the sake of money, buying and selling and raking it in. I imagine your members really are giving it all their all in their work.
Still, they haven't seen through to our real plans.
They're working well with their arms and legs. Ah!
Now, all we need are the needles to pop this puffed up wool balloon.
And this is the three kings we're talking about. So I suppose they're utterly prepared for that, without any loose ends. Yeah, there are so many levels to this conspiracy, seriously. My God. I'll bet they've got a whole bunch of those ready to go.
Well, I have been forced to handle several of them myself.
I doubt you really hate it. You're a masochist after all. You just love being given impossible demands and being spun about.
Though I wish it was for a sultry babe rather than these three old people.
Yeah, this is definitely Tomitake with his tastes. Yeah, cheese. Well, I'll leave the room now. Thanks for the minutes from the COU assembly meeting. I'll try following the movements of the Order of the Holy Ark right after this. By the way, have you really not heard anything since then? From your ex-wife? Oh, we're gonna talk about this now, and he divorced her.
She's already completely graduated from life and has nothing tying her down. She said her life as someone else's game piece is over. She'll just spend the rest of her time living just for her hobbies.
Interesting. This is really, they are really strongly hinting that. Graduated from life, eh? That's that's a very creative way to say faking your death. At least he knows about it.
She probably doesn't want to go out of her way to contact her husband from the time when she was at peace. And I'm getting to enjoy the single life again too.
Is that really true?
It is. Since then, I hadn't heard a peep from my ex-wife. I wonder where she's living her second life right now. Maybe in some underground bunker, going crazy with all kinds of terrifying, unexplainable science fiction horror experiments from beyond.
Toujirou.
Yes, Grandmaster?
In accordance with our order's code, I won't doubt what you just said. However, make sure that you at least don't betray our order's long-held wishes.
I won't betray you.
Oh, I don't mind if you'd betray me. It's natural for men and women to betray each other. However, a betrayal of the order is one thing I will not forgive. That is our code.
And I swore not to break it, Grandmaster.
After all, I don't want to have to pass judgment on you, Toujirou. Don't forget that.
Of course, Grandmaster.
Grandmaster Sesshat has left exited the room for you. Jasper has entered the room for you.
Well, you sure kept me waiting. Weren't you having a long conversation with someone?
I was a bit busy with work from my own chivalric order. Sorry I wasn't able to contact you.
I see you working hard. The Three Kings have commanded that you be suitably rewarded for overseeing this work.
I'm glad! That's probably the highest sort of praise from the Three Kings can give.
With this, the pots of war have filled to bursting. We just need for them to explode.
You've got more than enough pins to pop the balloon, right?
And the 76 chivalric orders owned by one or another of the kings are already fully prepared. Oh, sorry, wrong voice.
However, your order of the Wisteria has done splendid work, even equal to all 76 of those orders. It's possible that your strength alone might have been enough to start World War IV.
We've spent so much time getting ready for the party.
I do hope the invitations arrive safely.
They will, that's for certain.
The three kings said they didn't want to leave even as many survivors as World War III had. They were carrying this out with the intention of assuredly wiping out all of humanity, believing that even so, many would surely survive and becoming the seeds of a new world. However, if they overdid it just a little, a certain extinction of humanity would be the result.
I'm certain they'll come to the party. After all, this is humanity's last party. If they don't come, the kings will eat up everything, leaving not even a single plate behind.
Perfect! Even so, I hope someone resolutely survives, becoming the seeds of a new humanity and a new era.
By the way, what would you like as a reward? They gave me strict orders to come here and ask you that.
I see. In that case...
Don't say my body.
No. I want that.
Huh? This?
What Toujirou pointed out with his thumb was the mask covering her face. Strictly speaking, it wasn't a mask, but a visor-shaped wearable terminal. It was an item that had been popular in the era, before mental displays could be used to control anything.
No way. I'm fond of this.
I won't ask you for the real thing. I just only want you to remove from your avatar, just when you're meeting me in this virtual room. I suppose that's the reward I want. No good.
I don't really mind. After all, if the three kings hear about this, they'll definitely tell me to agree to a little reward like that. Hold on. I don't have an avatar without a visor. I'm making a surface map.
Looking just a little awkward, Jestrus did some sort of processing for a while. Apparently, obeying a demand to show part of her body she keeps hidden to the opposite sex was embarrassing for her. Interesting. She looks kind of like Meow. A bit. And fear.
I did it.
Jestrus removed her visor. Beneath it was the face of a troubled woman who still had a bit of youth in her, in contrast to her adult behavior.
Is it what you expected?
It reminds me of the time we first met.
How many times do I have to tell you to stop doing that?
find purpose, the means will follow. Mahatma Gandhi. We are inching ever closer to the red moon of death here. She might be a fear clone. I think I was just about to... Exactly, Nagels, yeah. I think that, yeah, I think she might be a clone of fear. Yeah. It's like really, really, really starting to look like that fear is his ex-wife and Meow's mom. Exactly. Like JM Chad, what exactly you said, JM Chad, like he's remembering how he met Fear when he was younger. And that's probably what he was referring to. Okay, so it's a big section after this. You think I should stop for now? Yeah. It looks like each Ciconia section is going to end up being 2 hours, which I guess is okay. So today's episode kind of clarified a lot of where the how a lot of the organizations work here. So I think now we have a bit better understanding of things. In that Toujirou and Sesshat have their own organizations that somehow ended up working under the Three Kings, and they're kind of like co-workers. And Fear is like we still don't know exactly what she's doing. I think she's separated from everything. It looks like we'll know how more. Yeah, I want to know more about how Fear's Science Lab SCP Foundation thing is. Yeah, that was a really cool NCG. And we had that, like, so, oh my god, I just realized something. Is 3Yao from the future using that time machine thing that was in, a version of that time machine that was in Fear's SCP Foundation place? Because I wonder. That is quite possible. See, I think that Jestrus being a clone of Fear is quite likely. So yeah, now we finally get a better idea of how the factions are, which is really nice that that's clarified. Is that Toujirou and Sesshat are co-workers, each with their own factions, who work under the Three Kings, which is really, really interesting. And it also appears 3Yao is basically the equivalent of Beatrice for this story. I wonder what... That's also a good way to put it, Ruka. It's if Battler decided to talk with Peace Battler, exactly. Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it, but who knows how this is going to be structured. Another thing I'm really worried about is Meow almost forgetting that Meow existed for a second there. I was kind of worried about that. Like, why would he just forget about her like that? Ugh. was that done on purpose or like, I don't know. I was really worried about that. Why would he just forget about her? Because, you know, the 3-Yao is their own person and definitely not Meow. Because our Meow, oh god, it's so hard to talk about them. Would definitely have just talked to them as such. They would have referred to them as such. So yeah, I do wonder that. So I'm just really glad that we got some clarification on the factions in this episode. And that horrifying scene in the beginning. That 3-Yao was talking about. My god. Oh, that was sending chills. I was so fucking uncomfortable during that, you guys. Like, you don't even know. Oh my god. I just... never mind. I just... Ugh. So anyway, I really want to see where this is going, and one thing I really want confirmed. I just want to know, what is the relationship of Fear's organization to the Three Kings? That's what I would like to know. I think, yeah, so anyway, in 2 days, there will be some more Umineko. Really looking forward to that, and this will continue in 4 days. I am super excited to play this some more with you guys in 4 days, and so until then, I will say so long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, good night. You are all the sweetest of hearts. See ya.